Hello everyone, it's Lauren J. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I like to do get ready with me style videos using products that are new to me, or just need a little bit more love in my collection. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my collection, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Chanel perfumes in my collection. So if you're interested to see what is in my collection, please keep watching. This is in honor of one of my wonderful subs who actually asked me about Chanel perfumes and what I thought about them. And although I don't really have any kind of expert knowledge on like scents or really like the language of perfume, I feel like I've gotten enough. I feel like I have worn enough Chanel perfumes over the years to tell you what my favorites are, and you can take this for what you want. Perfumes are a very personal thing. Scents are a very personal thing. They can bring up memories and associations and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the perfumes in my collection mean to me, and you can take that knowledge and do what you like. But first of all, we have to talk about number 5. So I have an empty bottle here of number 5. This is the Eau de Parfum. I bought this many years ago. This was probably, when I bought it, $150. I'm sure it is much more expensive now. But this is the Eau de Parfum, so this is the more, it's not the Parfum, which is the super concentrated version, but it is more concentrated than the Eau de Toilette. This is the classic number 5 that Coco Chanel created and named after herself. And you know, this is the one that started it all, at least for me. I remember when I was in my teens and 20s, when I would visit my aunt in California, and she would take me out shopping with her, and that was one of our favorite things to do together, because this was before the days when everything was easily accessible over the internet, and going shopping was really like a treat and something really, you know, luxurious in and of itself. But we would go to the Chanel makeup counter, and she would talk about how much she really loved Chanel number 5, and that was one of her favorite perfumes. So this always makes me think of her, and she is one of the people that sort of sparked my big love for Chanel as a brand, and I have amazing associations with it. But let me pull up the notes, and I have Fragrantica up here, so fragrantica.com. It's one of the more well-known, I suppose, fragrance websites, and I'm just gonna pull some notes from it. So Chanel number 5 Eau de Parfum is a floral aldehyde. So I think that's one of the major innovations of number 5, is that the aldehyde, sort of the idea of a mixture of scents, and the idea that a perfume doesn't have to be pure. Because I think before this time there was a lot of ideas about jasmine perfumes, or like what Lang Lang, Lily, Iris, they would have to be like pure perfumes. And I'm pretty sure I'm probably getting that from another YouTuber. I might be getting that from Allison Chase. She has probably, I think she has an amazing video on Chanel number 5, so you should probably go look at her video. She's much more knowledgeable about this than I am. But if I'm remembering right, that's one of the things that really separated out number 5, was the use of aldehydes. But so they say the nose behind this is Jacques Polg. He is a famous perfumier, a famous nose. Sorry. He's the famous nose, quote unquote, behind this. He was for many years. I believe his son, Olivier Polg, now does fragrances for Chanel, or was doing fragrances for Chanel. But it looks like Ernest Beau created the original number 5 in 1921. I remember the movie, and if you can credit it, I don't know if it has any historical relevance or not, but in that movie she goes to Grasse, and that is where she picks out all the scents in the French region of Grasse, because that's a very big perfume region there, and that's where she sort of creates the scent for Chanel number 5. The movie I saw it in was Coco Chanel and Igor Stravinsky. It's an interesting movie. I think it plays a lot. It plays a little bit fast and loose with the historical facts, as most things about Coco Chanel do. But that has a wonderful performance by Mads Mikkelsen in it, who's one of my favorite actors. So if you're ever looking for a nice, diverting movie with Mads Mikkelsen, there you go. Anyway, so another one of my favorites. And again, it's an empty bottle because I emptied it out many, many years ago, but it is Coco Mademoiselle. This is one of my favorite scents, one of my favorites from my 20s and my 30s. It is a young and vibrant and soft smell. It is a lot less, it's not less sophisticated than Chanel No.5, but it is just a little bit younger, a little bit more flowery, not quite as serious, but very very just light and beautiful. And again, like most Chanel perfumes, there are many, many different iterations. This one is the Eau de Parfum. So again, not the Parfum, the extreme, like more concentrated version, but also not the Eau de Toilette. And the main accords that they call out in this are citrus. Again, it's in the signature Chanel bottle. Let's see what they call that. It says it was launched in 2001, so that sounds about right. That's when I probably would have bought it. Top notes are orange, mandarin orange, bergamot, and orange blossom. So there you see, it's like the more citrusy version. It still has that lang lang that is in No.5. It still has, let's see, there's jasmine, mimosa, vetiver, all the hits. But yeah, this one I remember just absolutely loving, and I would pick up another bottle of it, but you know, I'm always trying something different. So this is my bottle of Coco Mademoiselle. I think if you are in your 20s or 30s, and look, you can wear any perfume you want no matter what age, but I think that is an amazing starter perfume for someone who is building like a luxury fragrance collection, if that's what you want to call it, or just a fragrance collection. I don't know what Chanel parfums are going for right now. I know they can be incredibly expensive. I know what the Les Exclusifs are. I have 2 of them and I'll show them, and I only have 2 of them because they are very expensive. Another one from my past is Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. So this is the one that came out, and I'm not sure when this came out, but it did come out when I was in my 20s or 30s. It is another iteration of the Chance perfume. I'm not a huge fan of Chance. It's a little bit spicy. I will definitely try it out now. I am more into spicier fragrances and woodier fragrances than I was when I was younger. I am a little bit more adventurous and, you know, able to just take scents as they are, instead of trying to like smell a specific way or be pleasing to other people. And Chance has kind of made a comeback in recent years as sort of a family of fragrances. They recently released Eau Splendide. There was one called Eau Vive. I don't even know. I don't think it did very well, but that came out, I think, before Eau Splendide, maybe 10 years ago. This is known as a fruity floral fragrance for women. One of my memory of this is that when I first bought it, I went and bought it at Boston store. That's how long ago I bought this. Boston store was still a thing and still had a Chanel counter. I bought it and I had it in my little Chanel bag that I was taking home, and I was driving my little Yellow Beetle home, and it just kind of, I could just smell it in the car, and I think it had tipped out a little bit and kind of spilled a little bit. So then I just had this huge like fragrance of Chance Eau Tendre in my car. So that's kind of one of the main memories I have about it. It's a very like nice, just like basically a floral fragrance, pretty heavily floral. I'm not like it's gonna weigh you down, but it is pretty heavy. It is not as light as Coco Mademoiselle. It is in the signature Chance bottle with the round. Apparently this is, I never understood this, but this is apparently supposed to be dice shaped, or at least that's what they have done in the marketing in recent years with it. Is they did a Chance collection. I can't remember if it was a makeup collection or something. Oh yeah, it was the the spring collection a couple years ago, and they centered it around the Chance family, and they were talking about the Chanel dice and all that. So I'm like, okay, it's dice, fine. It makes sense. Chance, yes. Chance, dice, okay, I get it now. Suddenly my mind is blown, and I was today years old when I realized that kind of thing. But Chanel Chance Eau Tendre is a floral, fruity fragrance for women. Say that 5 times fast. Launched in 2010. The nose behind it is Jacques Bulg. Top notes are quince and grapefruit. So yeah, that makes sense. Again, I said it's citrus, and it is pretty. It is a little bit heavier. Middle notes are hyacinth and jasmine. That tracks. And then you've got musk, iris, amber, all kinds of different things on the bottom. Oh yes, Chance Eau Fresh was the other one I was trying to remember. That's the one in the green bottle. So it'd be Chance, Chance Eau Tendre, Chance Eau Fresh, Chance Eau Splendide, and back in the past there was a Chance Eau Vive. There it is right there. I can see it on Fragrantica. It did exist. Thank you. And of course they've done the hair mists now and all of that different kind of diffusion of all the scents, and they have the parfums and the eau de parfums and the eau de toilettes. So that is my bottle from the Chance line. Again, that was I still love that one. I think it is very, very nice. Oh, and I wanted to give an honorable mention to this. I have had this for a very long time. This is No. 5 Eau Premiere. This came out, when did Eau Premiere come out? I know it has come back in the different, it has come back in this family of bottle, but when it was first introduced, it came out like this. I believe this is an Eau de Parfum. This was launched in 2008. Again, the nose is Jacques Bulg, and the top notes are aldehydes, ylang ylang, and neroli. So this was sort of touted as a fresher version of Chanel No. 5, and I can even smell it. I do have a little bit left in here, but I can smell it definitely. And it definitely has the lineage of No. 5. It has those deeper, sophisticated notes. But there is just a little bit something more airy about it. And, they introduced a new bottle, and I believe they relaunched this. It looks like they relaunched this in 2015, something like that. I don't know how they've changed it. It probably is reformulated. But again, it is in the Chanel No. 5 family of bottle. But this one was a really, really nice one. And I've had it for a really long time. It is, like I said, it is a little bit stronger, a little bit headier. It is not something I would necessarily wear to work. It is more of an evening scent. Again, you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want, but it is just a little bit stronger. It is a very romantic scent, and I really do like it. And as you can see, over the years I have used most of it, and I probably did buy this in 2008 or 2009, to be honest with you, because I have just been buying Chanel for that long. So what are the fragrances that I love today? Let's see, I have a few here that I want to show you. I want to show you some of the Les Eaux from the collection that came out a few years ago. They're not touting these as heavily as they used to. I believe these are all eau de toilettes, so they are lighter, more ephemeral scents. They don't last a really long time, but they really are beautiful. And there's only one that I really don't get along with, which is the surprising one, but I believe there are 6 of these now, 6 or 7. And I have Deauville, Paris-Deauville. This is probably my favorite. It's the first one I bought. I have Paris-Biarritz, one of my second favorite, and then my quote-unquote newest one, and this is Paris-Venise, Paris-Venice. And these are all just different, based on destinations in Coco Chanel's, mythology. Deauville and Biarritz. Deauville is the place where she opened her first shop. Biarritz is on, I believe this is on the Riviera. I wouldn't know, I've never been. There is also a Paris Riviera scent. So Biarritz, I cannot remember where it is, but it's one of the destinations in her mythology. And then of course, Paris, Venice. Venice is city of dreams or whatever, that maybe that's Paris. Anyway, Venice is also mentioned in her mythology as one of the places that inspired her. And these are all really, really lovely. I feel like Biarritz and Deauville are very, very similar. Deauville is just super, super light and just, oh, it's just so floral and like, but also a little bit salty, and like salty in a good way. And again, the main accord that Fragrantica notes is citrus, citrus green, fresh, spicy. That is all very apt. It is called a, and I never know how to say this, Chypre, Chypre, a Chypre. It is that type of fragrance. So launched in 2018. Nose is Olivier Paul, who is Jacques Paul's son, I believe. Top notes are basil, lime, bergamot, Sicilian orange, petitgrain, and lemon. So again, that tracks. It is very floral. Sorry, it is very citrus, but not overly citrus. I would not say it is as citrus as maybe this is. It is just so much lighter, and maybe it's the introduction of the greenness to it, but it is really, really lovely and light. Does not last a whole lot. These are Eau de Toilettes as a series, so they do not last very long. I believe this is the small size bottle. I think this goes for 150, 160. Again, they keep going up in price, so I don't know what they are now, but they're not, again, not cheap. So the Eau de Parfum. So the Eau de Parfum that I bought 20 years ago is probably, this is the same price now, or a little bit more. So the prices just keep going up exponentially. Biarritz, again, the main accord here is citrus, and there underneath is green and white floral. So I guess the story behind this is that in 1915, Chanel discovered Biarritz, a haven of peace by the sea. I guess there is, her first couture house was opened here in a villa opposite the casino. This is all I'm reading off of Fragrantica.com. I'm sure it comes from the marketing. You have Deauville, 1913, Biarritz, 1915. So going back into the lore, these three were all released at the same time. So I think these were the original three. Again, there are more now. And again, the main accord in here is citrus, but this one claims to be, yeah, more powdery, more traditionally perfumey powdery. But yeah, you do have that top note of citrus. So this one is a little bit more traditional, but again, Eau de Toilette. Again, the nose was Olivier Paul. The story behind this in Venice is that Venice was her escape after the death of Boy Capel, who was the great mythical love of Chanel's life. So that is the story behind Venice. But again, it's all marketing, but you know, the Les Eaux all have these stories behind places that are intricate to the mythology of Coco Chanel's life. One of the other ones that I really, really love, especially as a shower gel, is Paris-Edinburgh, which is Edinburgh. I love Edinburgh. I was there years and years ago. It is a beautiful city, and it is more of a woodsy fragrance. So you would say like a male fragrance. It doesn't have to be a male fragrance, but it is one of those more heavier fragrances that smells like a pine forest, and that feels so invigorating when you're using the shower gel in the shower. I'm not going to TMI, but oh my goodness, it is a whole experience. So I mean, I love the Les Eaux in the Eau de Toilette, but as the shower gels, I really, really love them. I think they are great in the shower. I would say the only one that I do not get along with is Paris, oddly enough. And Paris, I think, is the newest, quote unquote, when it was the most recent one released. And there's just something that goes really sour on me. It's got a big grapefruit note in it, and it just smells sour. And I've tried it in the hand cream or the body cream. I've tried it in the body wash, and I've tried samples of Paris as an eau de toilette, and I just cannot get on board. There's just something that just goes a little bit off for me, which is kind of disappointing because I love this series of fragrances so much, but yeah, just that one just doesn't work for me. But if you love grapefruit and you're huge on citrus, I mean, you like something a little bit sour, maybe that works for you. Let's talk about Les Exclusifs. So Les Exclusifs are big investments. I'm not gonna lie, they are huge investments. For a bottle of the size I'm going to show you, it is not cheap. And again, their prices go up, or at least they were for a while, going up every year. So let me show you the first one that I ever bought. This was years and years ago. This was when these first launched. And let me see if I can figure out when that is. I'll know how old this bottle is. Okay, so Fragrantica says that this was launched in 2016. For some reason that doesn't sound right, but who knows. The nose behind it was Jacques Polg. And so this was from the, I'm pretty sure this was from the original launch of the Les Exclusifs collection. This is their Premiere fragrance collection. Every fashion house has one of these now. Dior has it, Celine has it, Fendi has it. They all have them. But this is the box that it came in. It is very reminiscent of the original Chanel. They've had these boxes for years and years and years. I have a really, really old one that I bought. It was from an antique dealer that it looks just like this, but it's like from the 70s, I think, maybe the 80s, who knows. I'm old enough to be vintage, so who knows. But this is the one, and it comes pretty similarly to what it does today. It's almost exactly the same. You can see mine is backwards here, but this is Chanel Beige. This is the Eau de Toilette. I believe these are not sold as Eau de Toilettes anymore. I believe they are all Eau de Parfum. When I bought this, this was an Eau de Toilette. So this is Les Exclusifs Beige. So this is 75 mils or 2.5 ounces. When I first bought this, and this is the small size, when these first came out, this was, I believe it was an exclusive to the store. I was in Chicago. I'm not sure if I was at Nordstrom's or if I was at Marshall Field's. I was at a department store. And it was exclusive, and this was $150. Hold on. Okay. This is the same bottle that I bought. I love this. This is spicy and beautiful. What are we calling the top notes on this one? Floral. Floral, honey, tropical, sweet, lactonic. I don't know, there's just something so unique and beautiful about this. I wouldn't necessarily call it floral. Maybe it is that honey note. But it's just so beautiful. And the name doesn't do much for it. Beige. I mean, beige. But again, that is one of those names and one of those concepts. Beige is, you know, you have the Le Beige makeup line. It is very much a code of the House of Chanel. So it is just lovely, and I love this, and you can see how much I love it. I have used, not all of it though, I have savored this. I have treasured this, I have savored it, and it has lasted me years. And yeah, I love it so much. And I do occasionally get the sample of it when I buy something from Chanel, and I am overjoyed because then this makes this one last longer, and I have a little portable version to take with. I love Beige. And they have expanded the Les Exclusifs line, again, exponentially, with not just the Eau de Parfums, but now they have the body oils, all kinds of iterations of things. So they even have the big was it $800? I don't remember. There was that really expensive coffret of like all the little mini bottles that looked like this. Oh, so little it just fell right through the hole. They will sell you a whole coffret for hundreds of dollars for one of these 0.25 milliliter bottles. So this is Gardenia. I got this one for free. well, not for free. I had to buy makeup, but I got it as a gift. Not really a gift for purchase. It was just they throw in a sample. I have like 6 of these, so I will never need to actually buy a bottle of Gardenia. But I love this, and I'm not like, I know there are some people who just really don't like Gardenia, but I mean, it is what it says on the tin. It's just floral and light and beautiful. It is so sophisticated and so beautiful. It's so pretty. It's just a really pretty smell. And yeah, this is Gardenia, also one of my favorites. I have not had to pay for a full bottle. I would if I ran out, but I probably never will. Yeah, so Gardenia is also one of my favorites from the Les Exclusifs line. And then this is one of my all-time favorites. I bought this for myself when I hit a milestone for myself a few years ago. The difference between this one and this one, hang on for a second. So here's the, again, this is the same box basically. Same presentation and same size. As you can see, the bottle has not changed in many, many years. But this, I believe this one was $350 for this size. So it has gone up since these were introduced. And again, this is the Eau de Toilette, maybe the Parfum. If there was a Parfum version of this back when it was introduced, maybe it was more expensive. However, $150 to $350. This one, again, I got a sample of this when I went to Chicago for my 40th birthday, and I bought my first pair of Chanel leather gloves, which I still have and I still wear and are still amazing. When I bought that, I got a sample of this, and I absolutely fell in love with this. So I have wonderful memories of a wonderful trip when I turned 40. And this is, again, one of those sophisticated adult smells. It is like a really, really sophisticated version of No. 5. And 1957 is referring to the show that Coco Chanel did. I believe it was in New York when she sort of made her comeback to fashion. It's called an aromatic fragrance. I mean, aren't all fragrances aromatic? I don't know. Launched in 2019, so I bought it the year after it launched. Top notes are white musk, aldehydes, bergamot, pink pepper, and coriander. So you have those aldehydes mixed with white musk, and it just goes a little bit deeper than No. 5, but it is just such an airy, sophisticated fragrance. It is just so many good associations for me, and I would wear this. I mean, I know it's a lot, but I would wear this every day. I have worn this to work, just one spritz here, one spritz here, and good to go. I feel like I can conquer the world with this fragrance. So that is my story with Chanel fragrances. I have tried so many more. I've had millions of samples, but I couldn't possibly name them all now. There are ones that I really still want to get from the Les Exclusifs line. There are ones that I would love to get from the Chance and from the No. 5. I'd love to just get a bottle of the straight up No. 5 Parfum, like the, or maybe the, what is it called? The L'Extrait. There's like a super concentrated version of it that's like $1,000. I mean, that's ridiculous, but I would love to get my hands on that. But that is my story with Chanel perfumes. They mean a lot to me just because I have a long history with them. I trust them. I have so many wonderful associations with them. There are other fragrance brands that I love. I love the Dries Van Noten perfumes. I love the Guerlain perfumes. There are some of the Dior perfumes from their exclusive collection that I really do like. And I just keep finding new fragrances that I love all the time. There are tons over here from like mid-range brands that I love. I have one over here from Byredo. a sample of a few that I really enjoy. But yeah, I really just would always go for a Chanel perfume. Like I said, I've only had one really negative with Paris. It's not the worst thing in the world. These are an investment, I'm not gonna lie, and I think that you should always smell the perfume first before you buy it. Just, you should probably not blind buy these. You should, if you can, go to a Chanel counter or get a sample or something. I don't know, Sephora has Chanel perfumes. Why do I keep saying it like that? I'm just gonna keep doing that, aren't I? Well, here we go. They won't have the Les Exclusifs and they won't have the Les Eaux. I think the Les Eaux are, they used to be exclusive to Nordstrom, and I don't know if that's true anymore, but they could just be exclusive to the website now. They tend to do that. The Les Exclusifs are exclusive to the boutiques and the website. And the Chance and No.5 Coco Mademoiselle, you can get those at most department stores. You can get them at Sephora. You can get them, I think, at Ulta now. Pretty much anywhere fine fragrances are sold. Macy's. But yeah, just go and take a sniff and decide what you want. And if you choose to invest, know that you will probably, hopefully, be having a fragrance for years and years to come. And if you're lucky, you will, you know, quickly use it up, because I feel like that is always such a, I feel like I always have perfumes for so long that when I do go through them really quickly, I'm like, oh, I must have absolutely loved that. And now I'm sad that it's gone. But then I have 500 other, well, not five, then I have many other perfumes. Not, I can't do it. I have many perfumes that I still need to wear from my collection. But yeah, for me, a Chanel perfume is always a good idea. To steal a phrase or a paraphrase or whatever that is. I hope you enjoyed seeing me talk about some of my favorite Chanel fragrances. Please let me know down below what your favorite fragrances are. If you have a favorite Chanel fragrance, if you have a favorite non-Chanel fragrance, I would love to hear from you. I'm always looking for something new. I think, again, smells are so personal and can evoke memories and so many different associations. So yeah, let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Any of those would be welcome. All of them would be deeply appreciated. And I will see you in the next one.